All right. We're live. All right. Hello, everybody. Shanda Sumter here, back from the Labor Day weekend. I just finished Pilates class, so that's why I'm all in like a baseball cap and ready to roar. But we are here on Shanda on Demand, and I have Patti Keating. Keating, is that how I say your name?
Yes, Keating
with me, and I asked her to come on because she's been watching Shanda on Demand for the last month. And so this week, so everybody's really clear what this week looks like. This week is all about five different ways that you can find the money, right? So we're going to talk today about how Patti found the money by just watching the trainings over the last 3 months or last 3 weeks, 4 weeks when we started Shanda on Demand. So I'm going to ask you guys really quickly to go ahead and share. Let's get a bunch of people on here. Go ahead and share. We're streaming in a bunch of our Facebook groups. We're also streaming on our YouTube channel. And throughout the day, Patti, there'll be a bunch of people that you're going to get to inspire to get up off the couch, to get up out of bed, to dust off the emotions, and to go all in. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Lorna. How are you? Okay, so you guys go hit share real quick. Let's get a bunch more people on. Go hit share. And let's just really rip people off the couch today. Are we good with that, y'all? Yes? No? We're good with ripping some people off the couch today so that we can get back into our life? Okay, so Patti, we're going to start with you, and I'm going to ask you questions, and I'm going to back you into a bit of the strategy that you ended up using, the simple steps you ended up using based on what I was talking about in Shanda on Demand. Patti and I have not done a coaching session where she didn't get like sideline coaching from me. She just literally watched these lives and took action. So, Patti, how long have you known of me?
How long have I known of you? Oh my gosh. That's a good question. Maybe 12 years.
Wow.
10 years,
it's a
12
long
years.
time. It's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you found out about us 12 years ago. Gosh, Could you imagine? It's so funny. And no pressure to you, but I'm just saying to everybody else, like I created Hardcore 12 years ago. And, last month we really focused on $1 million years, $1 million months, $1 million weekends, $1 million days. And I remember sitting in my living room being so broke it hurt. And I remember thinking to myself, if I could just make $5,000 a month, if I could just be able to work, it's such a privilege. I would go all in if somebody just tell me what to do. And so in 12 years, so everybody write this down. In 3 to 4 years, I believe you should be cracking 7 figures. Now, I will tell you, I've got people that I've coached for 7 years that are just cracking $1 million business. And then I have someone that we just said goodbye to yesterday that has only ever listened to the coaching for the first year. And that's when she made all of her money and has never listened to the coaching ever since. And so I share that with you because you can either be distracted and chase money, or you can realize that making money is actually very simple. Patti made over $40,000, $46,000, I think, right, Patti? Yeah. $46,000 by watching Shanda on Demands. Okay, so anybody want to give her a big heart, a big hug virtually in the comment section right now? And imagine, I want everybody to set an intention right now. Patti, I want you to set an intention that you create $65,000 this month. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want you to I want you going up, not maintaining, not having any thought that that, because this is what happens. Oh, somebody referred me a client, or somebody, there's always this disclosure on why it happened. But the truth is it happened because you got up off the couch and you took some action. And when you get off the couch, you take some action, things start coming your way. Now, the symptom that most people do is they start to pull back when this happens, because they let the gear off they let the foot off the gas pedal. So everybody out there, I want you to go in the chat right now and declare out loud in the chat, what do you want? What type of revenue do you want to create this month? And just run your own race. Don't worry about anybody judging you. Just run your own race. It might be 2,000. Right? I just finished getting off with our coaching director, and I was just saying, Vince, here's what I want you to do with the coaching department. It might be 2,000. Maybe 2,000 this week. Maybe 2,000 today. Maybe 2,000 in the month. Or it might be like 65,000 like Patti, which I'm stretching her. Or it could be, I mean, I have clients that are doing $1 million a month, right? So if you're doing $1 million a month, then why don't you take that up and see if you can do like 1.2? Okay, so all right, Nina put 30,000, Amanda put 2,000, Tanya put 2,700. Okay, good. Go in the chat and put it in. You guys go in the chat. 10,000, Deborah, awesome. Okay, 20,000, Sophia, so good. Okay, so keep going in there. Go put it up there. And so when I cracked my first 100,000 a month, I was in Africa. And it was actually a moment like this that people like Sophia and Deborah and David and Colleen, right? David, don't put 10 to 20,000. That's how you're letting yourself off the hook. Just pick one, right? Just pick one. Like I'd say just pick 20,000 because it's going to cause you to show up bigger because it's a bigger goal. So you don't have enough time to delay or hesitate. That's why big goals happen easier than little goals, because it doesn't leave a space for lack of urgency. Like you've got to go. Like today, you got to go. Like Patti, imagine if you went and rolled 2 people today for 10,000, you already had 20,000, right? Mm-hmm. Super good. Okay, yeah. So Patti, when you started watching Shanda on Demand last month, what was your emotional state?
It was low. I had a coaching business for over a decade. I've been in a place of thriving, and then my personal life happened. I lost my mom and my brother both during COVID. We had crazy stuff going on with all of that I had to handle, and I was responsible for all of it. It cost me a lot emotionally and financially. Yeah. And I moved from California back to Oregon. All these things were happening in my life, and I didn't have the emotional fitness to hold it all. But I knew in my heart that I had the capability to do what I was doing before and beyond, and that I'm here to serve people. And I thought about, who do I know that has in their heart similar intentions? And I thought of you, Shanda. And I saw your ad for Shanda on Demand, or just on my feed. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to watch at 7. Just get up, get your coffee, get yourself in a different room, go to work. This is your work right now. For 15, 20 minutes, I think you can do it. Can you commit to that, right? And because I was getting up around 8:30. I was just kind of draggy, droopy. And
who can relate to that? Who can relate to that right now? Like you're not getting out of bed with the level of urgency that you know you can. Who can relate to that? Put me in the chat. I think that's so powerful because Patti, there's so many people who are hiding that are doing that, right? There's not really, they want something big to happen, but emotionally they're exhausted, they're tired, they're depleted. They're kind of throwing in the towel without even saying, awesome, thanks, Jean, thanks, Mina, thanks, Denise, for being honest about that. Put me in the chat if you know that you're not like popping out of bed going, let's go, game on, it's my life, right? Like it's powerful to know that. So you get yourself mentally to the game where like, I can handle 15, 20 minutes with Shanda. I'm going to get up. I'm going to use it as my anchor, right? And go in another room. I love that strategy. Like go in another room. There's lots of people who do watch Shanda on Demand from their bed. I used to do a show called Coffee with Shanda at 6 a.m. California time back then. And people would lay in bed and they would start with me with their husbands, their wives, and they would start with the day. But I love that strategy, Patti, to go in another room because it gets you primed. Like we're going to go, right? Yeah. So you went from dragging your tushy to like, okay, I can commit to this. What shifted for you watching Shanda on Demand? Like, what shifted?
Well, doing that, first of all, and because I was meeting myself, you guys meet yourself where you're at. So I said, just do it for a week. It wasn't like, okay, you're going to do the whole series. Like I'm going to put myself on a stretch, as Shanda would say. 5 days. All right. And so then what shifted for me is I was like, okay, what one thing can I do today to be of service? What one thing can I do to pass on what I've just received from Shanda, which helped me to get up out of bed and into a different environment, because our environment always wins. Yeah. So what can I do to serve other people? And I was like, well, I could do a live stream event like Shanda. Like I didn't really put a lot of creativity in it. I was like, follow what works, right? So I was like, okay. And I sat down at the coffee shop and I made a header and I said, every day in August, starting like mid-August is when I started this. I'm going to do Unleash with Patti.
Yeah, and I think I gave that coaching, right? Like I gave that coaching on a live and I said, go do this so that you're at
Yeah.
least showing up. So you took one day. This is the power of showing up every day, y'all. It really is. It's the power of showing up every day. That was one coaching session last month that had people stop watching me because I got a hit where I was like, people are watching me, but I wonder how many are actually doing it. And so when your heart turns over like that, whatever comes out of your mouth when you guys are helping people out there in any industry, trust your gut. Like whatever you think they're not doing, or it's in the gap, stand in the gap for people and just say it. Because Patti, I love that intuition, that hit when I put it out there. You grabbed it, you applied it, and you started doing Patti Unleashed, right?
Yeah.
Which was it a daily show you started to do?
Yeah, I did it every morning at 9 a.m. every day, weekdays in August. And nobody was watching. Just so you know, my algorithm is slow. I've been working on getting more engaged, right? I'm bringing myself back from where I was. That's okay. I did it anyway. I didn't care about who was watching. I cared about showing up and sharing and having this become part of my history on my feed, right? Like, what am I creating? What legacy am I leaving right now today as we go through this? Things are wrapping up with everything I'm going through. And what legacy am I going to start building and what am I going to leave?
So good. So good. So what happened?
So people started reaching out from all over the place. People I haven't heard from me from years. Now, nobody's commenting, nobody's watching, but then I would get an audio message. I saw you this morning. That was amazing. I love what you're up to. I'll be there tomorrow. And then, other people are reaching out. That's interesting. I don't see any engagement on the actual post, but people are watching. People are like watching behind the scenes, or it scrolls by and unconsciously in their mind, they're like, oh yeah, Patti, I remember her from back then, or whatever. Being visible, it's not like a one strategy model. You go visible, you get visible, people see you, and then things start to happen. And so a couple people reached out. I got into conversations. The first person joined my $20,000 coaching package. And she's already made 5,000. She's already made 5,000, right? That's passing it on. I got her. And you know what's so interesting is when you are in something, you guys, it's ripe as you heal, and people can relate to it. She had something similar, not the same, and she can see what I was doing, and then she applied it in her life. It's so powerful. It's this energy.
By the way, that's leadership. So we have a leadership program, right? And we always say, like, there's always an opportunity if you want to enroll somebody that you love to do the program, to go do it. And it's so amazing to me that, like, just saying that to people doing the course, that some people be like, oh, I don't want to build your business. I'm like, no. Like my friend Kevin Nations, in his entrepreneur program, when people hit a certain level of leadership, he moves them to evangelistic leadership, which means that if something's working for you, you should be passing it on, right? Like you should be passing it on. Like that's evangelistic leadership. Everybody wants an evangelistic platform, their email list, their YouTube channel, like their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Everybody wants it to go viral, which is typically a lot of evangelistic style work in the essence of you're doing things that cause people to pay it forward, right? But the people who won't pay it forward, they won't talk about it. They won't share it with other people. They won't hit the share button on Facebook right now. That group of people, and I mean this with so much love and respect, but you're hurting your ability to create a movement, because a movement starts within, and a willingness to go out there and replicate yourself, a willingness to go out there and share what's working for you. And it doesn't matter if you share it and somebody else makes money from it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not transactional. Now there are transactional relationships, like an affiliate partnership or a business partnership, but then there's like there's a quote that says, dig your well before you're thirsty. And that's one of the most important quotes for everybody to remember. Build your well before you're thirsty is do more for other people before you ever need to ask for help. Right? Like if you're coaching or mentoring with someone, like become their best client. Become their best client. And as you become their best client, you build a relationship. Well, now you just built a relationship with somebody hopefully powerful in not only their money, but also their heart. And that relationship comes back to you just because you honored them and did well with their programs and products and services, right? Like Patti and I don't know each other, right? She knows of me, but I don't know her. And she's on Shanda On Demand right now, which is powerful. And people will go follow her and connect with her. You know, they'll do that because she's on here, but that's because she took Shanda On Demand and honored the work that we're doing and took the coaching. And now she's going out there and she's helping other people. But what's best of all, Patti, that I find best of all, is that you're engaged in your life again.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you've spent a long time being unengaged in your life. And now you're engaged in your life, which is much like that is so much more rich than the $46,000 you made last month from Shanda On Demand, right? From just watching these lives every day. It is so much more rich. And I can only imagine what you're going to do with the rest of this year because you pulled yourself off the couch. Now, I know like a few other things going on with you, and I know I can see where you want to go. And I'm just going to say for Patti and for everybody watching, as you start to pull ahead, things will hit you because there's an atmosphere that you are comfortable in that causes you to stay in a certain financial bracket, friendship bracket, emotional bracket. And there's a quote in the Bible, I actually read it this morning, I think it's really powerful, but it's like, resist the devil and he will flee. Okay, so think about those limitations or those hard moments or those people that are like crabs that are pulling you down back into the bucket, or the bill that comes out of nowhere, or the fight that comes out of nowhere, or the hesitation, or the canceled client that you thought was going to come through comes out of nowhere. Okay, and you have to be bullish in that moment. Mm-hmm. See, innovation in solving a problem is taking a moment like that and just recognizing that's not of God, it's the devil. Like think of it like that, or however you need to think about it. I just go from scripture. And so whatever you have to grab onto, but realize that's a force coming in that you need to push back on. And so speak to it. Like New Age people talk about law of attraction. The Bible talks about law of attraction is only one part of it, right? There's so much more. You have authority. You don't want to magic things in. You want to command them in, right? And so as these things start to happen, you need to stand up. So I've had this weird like spirit of fear hit my heart a little bit. And I think it's come in through drinking coffee. I know this sounds wild, but like I just can tell you whether I drink coffee or don't drink coffee now, there's this weird like spirit of like fear that comes up, and I don't know what it's about. So I attach to anything. And so saying that, I stop and I command it out. I'm like, you must flee because I say it. Get out of here. I have authority. I know who I am. You know what I mean? And so I say that to you guys because as you start to pull ahead, hopefully Shanda On Demand's, who's finding Shanda On Demand's helpful? Put me in the chat. Who's finding Shanda On Demand's helpful? Put me in the chat. Super important that as you start to pull ahead like Patti's doing, that you do not allow anything to pull you back. You got to fight for that next room. You got to fight for that next table that you're sitting at with a new group of people that are up to bigger things that you're not going to feel qualified in. And you got to still go. Because if you don't, you will go back to the same income level. You will go back to the same emotional bracket and atmosphere. You will go right back. The whole thing's a freaking atmosphere. And you got to get out of that atmosphere. You got to get it out. And it's going to take more than just getting ahead a little bit. You have to get way ahead. Okay, so whatever any of your goals are for this month, I'm going to ask you to up it. Take at least maybe 5 to 10% and take whatever your financial goals are and times it by another 10% and go after that. So Patti, you take your 65,000, times it by 10% and go after that. And don't allow, first you feel fear, speak to it, get out. And then just focus on the daily activity. You don't have time to waste a day, an hour, an afternoon if your goals are big enough. You don't have time. So that procrastination and hesitation, they don't have a grip on you. Do you guys hear that? They don't have a grip on you this month because you're breaking those chains right now because you're getting the wisdom, which the wisdom is when the fear hits, talk it out, shut it down, right? Everybody's been shut down by somebody before, right? Yes? Yes or no? Has anybody ever been in a conversation you were shut down? Yes or no? Go in the chat, yes or no. So that's what you have to do to that voice. You need to shut it down, command it out. And then you need to completely put the big goal up on a wall, and you don't have a second of the day to waste. And that will get rid of the hesitation, the procrastination. All of that is connected with the spirit of fear. And you can kick it out. You can kick it out today. You have full authority. It doesn't matter what your belief systems are. It doesn't matter if you're strong. It doesn't matter if you're weak. You are stronger than any spirit of fear. That's what you got when you were born. So Patti, what's the one piece of advice that you can give people that had you just really shift, like really, really shift? I know Shanda on Demand. I know you started doing lives because you kind of copied this model, which was a coaching session. You're showing up every day. When you have gone to make offers, like what has gotten you to just get out there and do it? Any piece of advice?
People need you. People need help. We all have problems that we can solve for other people, and the world needs people who are of service to show up and talk about what they do. And I took that to heart. And I also gratitude. I messaged Shanda and just told her, she didn't know, right? She didn't know. And that felt so good. So being grateful for what I have and sharing it and using my voice for good. That's what it is. Like, how can I serve today?
So good. So now what's the rest of your day going to look like?
Today? Oh my goodness. I've got trainings and I've got some people who signed up for sales calls, and I rejoined my favorite club here, my gym. I'm going to Pilates this afternoon.
I just went.
I love it.
So good. Okay, so you guys see this? So she's lit up like a candy cane, right? So I know people say it's not all about money, and it's not. But money is a measuring stick of how engaged you are in life. So y'all, we love you so much. We're going to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to bring a husband and wife on to Shanda on Demand, and we're going to talk about how do you, whether it's a business partner or a spouse, how do you get them on the same page? Like, anybody have a relationship right now that you need to get on the same page? You may or may not work together. These guys work together. So we're going to bring them together, but they're in this moment where one wants to go this way and the other wants to go this way. And so how'd they get on the same page to work together? And then how are they going to stay on the same page as they start to pursue different realms of interest? So I share this with you because everybody's in partnership at some level, whether it's you're building. So people say in entrepreneurship, I hate corporate America. Yeah, but you actually want to get so big at some point that you have a corporate America. And if you say you don't, it's usually because you have a fear. Because if your heart was as generous as it could be, it's not about you. If your company can grow and have more people working in it, sales teams, VPs, directors, people who actually run the company and it's their passion and they're good at it, right? When you could build an army of people that you guys are all working towards transforming a niche audience or a group of people in the world, why would you not want that? Because somehow there might be a belief that you have to give up too much to get there, or maybe you're not capable of it. And all of that is a spirit of fear. So we're unleashing that this month. We're starting with this week around 5 different ways to find the money, or five different ways to find money, 5 different ways of making money, because I want to start stretching you on multiple streams of income, right? So yesterday, I'm going to jump you off, Patti. Yesterday, I had my friend Jorge jump on. Anybody watch that yesterday where he talked about Airbnbs? Any of you guys, yes or no? He's great. We're currently doing positive $20,000 a month on an Airbnb right now. great multiple stream of income just because. We're looking at another place here in Puerto Rico that we would be cash positive about $150,000 a year on if we wanted to do it, right? And so, I just share this with you because there's ways that you can create multiple streams of income that don't necessarily mean you have to go do sales calls or you have to build out like just this revenue stream. I really want to get you to start thinking outside of what you think you're capable of, what you think is possible, and what you think is your time. See, there's no better time than to succeed right now. You don't need to do it when you're more ready. You don't need to step into a coaching program when you're more ready. You don't need to step into multiple streams of income when you're more ready. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Yes? Do you hear what I'm saying? So that's a lie. That's a lie. And we got to break those lies if we're going to see you go to the next level. We got to break them like now. Like we don't wait to write the book, right? We don't wait. We struggle through our insecurities and we get into it now. So I'm standing here in front of you telling you this week is intentional. And it's to have you, whether or not each live relates to you or not. I remember being taught about hiring COOs and building sales departments before I was ever doing that. And it felt really big. And it's really not. It's really not. It's just how fast are you willing to speed up? And that means how big are you willing to get these goals? So I want to encourage you to watch every Shanda on Demand this week. And yesterday was Jorge. Jorge's amazing. You can tie up rental property and do Airbnb, right? You can make money on rental property. He's got half of his portfolio is rental property. Half of his portfolio is actual homes. Okay. Now, if you're going to buy homes, you might want to look at assumable mortgages. See, I might be talking over your head right now, but I'm not. If it feels over your head, it's just because you haven't heard it yet. Or there's some part of you that didn't understand something I said, but you're just one conversation away from understanding it. Ask the questions you need to ask. So today, Patti came on to unleash you and to say, listen, if she could do $46,000 in sales when she wasn't feeling so hot in her life, she had a lot going on. She wasn't feeling so hot in her life. And she showed up and just said, I'm just going to watch Shanda on Demand for a week. And then she ended up watching the month. And now she's on. I'd love to hear your success stories on Shanda on Demand. So please message me and tell me what they are. And if you haven't had one yet, why don't you plan on having one this week? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how you come into partnership. If you do have intentions on building sales teams or building directors in your company, or maybe you're with a spouse that you guys can't get on the same page, there's something for everyone on Shanda on Demand tomorrow. It's going to be a big day. So they're very close friends of mine, and I can't wait to bring them on with you guys. On Thursday, we're going to bring somebody on to talk about what if you don't have a product? Who doesn't have a product? Put me in the chat. Or put a P so I can see you. Put a P. If you don't have a product or a service to sell, put a P in the chat. Put a P so I can see you. So if you don't have a product or service to sell, this is somebody who is crushing it. I believe he's doing over $50,000 a month. He's only been coaching with us for 2.5 years, and he didn't have a product, right? He didn't have a product. And he also went through very, very, very hard times when I started to coach him. So now maybe you do have a product or you don't have a product. Either or, you should possibly have somebody else's product. Like if you love our company, you might want to use one of our products. And I'll give you the key of this. You need to have a product that you know sells, right? So if it's not your product and you're going to sell somebody else's product, you need to have a product that you know sells and has a good retention rate, right? You don't want to just sell anybody's product because it sounds good or you're aligned with it. You need something that has a strong back end. In other words, it actually stays together when you sell it. So I think that Thursday is going to be an amazing aha moment where there's money sitting there that if you just thought a little bit differently, you could bring in a lot of extra cash before the end of the year just because you're on Thursday Shanda on Demand. Friday right now, I am slated to train it and to end the week. And so that's our whole week this week, all dedicated to 5 different ways to find the money, 5 different ways to make money, 5 different ways to have no freaking excuse to be able to make money, other than if you're scared, do it anyway. All right, you guys, I'm sending you so much love. Let me know, Shanda on Demand rocked today. Put the word rock in the chat and let me know if it rocked today. And I'll send you so much love today, productivity and ambition. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.